Listen up, people. This is how World War III is going to is starting. It's prepping. It's getting all the pieces in place.
NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's a military alliance formed in 1949 to counter the Soviet Union. It started with 12 countries as members. Over the decades, it has had 8 rounds of expansion, and now NATO has 30 members. But the Soviet Union disintegrated more than 30 years ago. So why does NATO still exist? And why is it expanding? Russia has opposed this expansion. It believes NATO is encroaching on its area of political influence. The red line for Moscow was Ukraine joining the NATO. That's not happening. So to send a message, Putin launched a war on Ukraine. What he achieved seems to be the opposite of what he set out to achieve. Putin gave NATO a new lease of life, a new purpose, and a new excuse to expand. Soon the alliance will have 2 more members, Sweden and Finland. Their applications have been fast-tracked. Turkey was a roadblock, but that's been cleared. What did Turkey get in return? What does the NATO expansion mean for Putin? Will the war now spill beyond Ukraine? And what does a growing NATO mean for the world? On Gravitas tonight we'll discuss that.
Значит, первое. Не должно быть транспортной системы на Украине. Не должно быть тоннеля под Карпатами. Не должно быть мостов через Днепр и так далее. Кстати говоря, не должно быть электрички. Вот замечательная банда, повторюсь, воров и убийц.
On the left, that's the G7 meeting they just had.
Они успокоились и перестали нам, так сказать, досаждать. Поэтому, когда НАТО собирается, чтобы сказать, что мы их враг, это вы. Это вы.
Cut off electricity to Ukraine, blow up bridges, destroy the economy of the Baltic, stop energy exports to the West. This is Russian television for you. Russian propaganda network. These commentators want Moscow to unleash its fury. What has made them so angry? NATO's expansion. 2 more countries are joining the NATO. The decks have been cleared, and this is a major political defeat for Vladimir Putin. His friend Recep Tayyip Erdogan has turned. Turkey has dropped its objections to NATO expansion. Finland and Sweden are set to be part of this military alliance, and it's happening in record time. Putin attacked Ukraine to send a message to NATO. He wanted to stop its expansion. He has accelerated it. He's given NATO a new life and purpose. So Russian propagandists are crying war. They want an all-out attack. Will they get their wish? On Gravitas tonight, that's what we'll discuss. Yesterday's developments will go down in history books. Finland and Sweden have got their wish. They have been invited to join the NATO. They applied to join this military alliance in the month of May. We're still in June. Their appeal was held up by Turkey. You see, NATO has 30 member countries. Each one has a veto. So Finland and Sweden need a yes vote from each member to join the NATO. That is the rule. The big hurdle was Turkey. Since day one, Turkey refused to back their bids. But yesterday, Recep Tayyip Erdogan dropped his objections.
In light of the progress we have made together, Turkey has agreed to support Finland and Sweden joining NATO. I want to thank President Erdogan, President Niinistö, and Prime Minister Andersson for the constructive spirit of today's talks.
So what changed there? Not too long ago, Turkey was dead set against NATO expansion. It accused Finland and Sweden of protecting militants. What made Erdogan change his mind? An offer he could not refuse. The NATO summit, is underway.
Strategic. He was strategic. That's what.
Had a meeting with Erdogan on the sidelines. Also present was NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg. This meeting lasted for 4 hours. There were intense negotiations and Erdogan walked away with a winning deal. Let's tell you what he got. Sweden and Finland had an arms embargo on Turkey. They will now lift it. They will also end support to the Kurdistan Workers' Party. This group is also known as the PKK. Turkey sees them as terrorists. Even the US and the EU have designated the PKK as a terrorist organization. Finland and Sweden supported them. Now they will not. Then we come to the Gülenist movement. The groups led by Turkish preacher Fethullah Gülen.
He walked away a winner.
For an attempted coup back in 2016. Finland and Sweden have agreed to end their support to the Gülenists too. And that's not all. Turkey, Finland and Sweden will expand an anti-terrorism cooperation agreement. European nations will extradite terror suspects to Turkey. So Erdogan managed to tick all the boxes. Weapons, Kurds, Gülenists, terror suspects. He's had his way with everything. The Europeans have made significant concessions. The Finnish foreign minister said the deal was reached during a coffee break.
It was 4 hours meeting, of course, and very complicated in the beginning, and all parties repeated their own positions and how they see the situation. And then after 2 hours we felt that it's maybe not moving at all. And then we had a coffee break, and as always during the coffee break, great ideas come up, and then in the end, towards the end of the meeting, it was easier to come to the conclusion.
Sounds like each side got what they wanted. For Erdogan, this is not just a foreign policy win. It will also help him in domestic politics, and we'll tell you about it in a bit. For the moment, let's focus on what NATO got. NATO has 2 new allies in the fight against Russia, Finland and Sweden. They meet all the requirements. They're democracies, they're reliable partners, and most importantly, they add to NATO's firepower. Let me tell you how.
There you go.
Finland and Sweden together have more than 33,000 soldiers, plus more than 230,000 reserve troops. What about weapons? Finland and Sweden have more than 800 tanks, more than 200 combat aircraft, and 170 patrol and coastal vessels. Separately, Sweden has 5 submarines. There are other advantages too. Finnish and Swedish forces conduct drills with NATO troops. Most of their equipment is compatible with what NATO forces have. So there is interoperability too. Long story short, the stage is set for their entry into NATO, and it looks like a win-win deal for all sides. What happens next? Usually it takes a year for NATO to add new members, but the applications of Finland and Sweden will be fast-tracked. Their induction is expected soon. Both.
Let me stop right there. Notice what you just said that occurred. Usually takes a year, but Sweden and Finland application, which they was pressing, but Turkey held out. So Turkey walked away with getting a lot of his requests and needs met. Okay? But now Turkey agreed. So Finland and Sweden application is going to be fast-tracked. Okay? Fast-tracked. When things are fast-tracked. Remember the Iraq was fast-tracked. So it bypasses the normal processes and procedures. And if this would have taken at least a year, but now it's going to be done, then that tells you that war is on the horizon. Because I'll bring it to you. Russia has not yet responded to this, but they did state previously that if Sweden and Finland joined NATO, he was going to use nukes. This is, I'm going to bring it to y'all, but what are the implications? Because United States is sending military weapons to both these countries. Okay? But what is the implication of war on us. This is not going to be like the troops went over to Iraq and bombed and overthrew Iraq. And over here, we really didn't feel anything. This is not what's going to happen. Already, with high interest rates, the dollar is actually losing its value overseas in a lot of countries because this is global. Interest rates going up, a recession that leads to a depression. You have countries that are having famines right now. Okay? Between this, the weather, violence, political unrest in many countries, joblessness, the energy crisis. Oh, we gonna feel it this time. We gonna definitely feel this. So prepare yourselves. Store up goods. Store up what you need to store up to protect yourselves. I'm gonna bring you more information soon. Like, subscribe, comment.